The end of yet another era in Boston radio is after nearly 50 years of rock, 107.3 FM is now home to a contemporary Christian music station. The iconic WAAF officially signed off over the weekend after its parent company, Entercom, sold it to Educational Media Foundation for a bit more than $10 million. The station follows in the footsteps of BCN and FNX, which shut down in 2009 and 12, respectively. And after 5 decades of 107.3, the AAF DJs said goodbye to their listeners. This is one of the first songs they ever played, also delivering what seems like it may have been a message to the station taking over. I'm joined now by longtime AAF DJ Mistress Carrie, who was on the air till the very end Friday night. Carrie, it's great to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
So which do you think is more jarring, working at a talk station, which converts to hip-hop, that was me, or working at a half-century-old rock station that converts to contemporary Christian music format?
I don't know.
What is contemporary Christian
music?
I
have no idea. I won't put the radio on because I just can't. I can't go there.
Well, at least you're smiling.
I'm really trying.
Tears, I know. So, did you just find out Tuesday? Is that what I heard? Just this past Tuesday?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I finished my show. Mike Shue, the afternoon host, and I did our crossover break. And then the program director, Joe Calgaro, came and got us and said, hey, can you guys come in my office for a minute? Which wasn't out of the ordinary. And then we sat down with our general manager, Mark Hannon, who was in the room, and he told us exactly what had happened, what you just described.
What did that feel like? You've been there almost 3 decades,
yeah,
right?
I started as an intern in 1991, and I've worked my way up and been at the same station for 29 years.
And you had no inkling this was coming, obviously.
No.
So what did it feel like when you heard this news on Tuesday?
It felt like a death. I feel like my best friend died. It's the only way to really describe it.
So you're a local kid, right? Aren't you?
I grew up in Leominster,
Leominster, right? That's what I thought. So did you grow up listening to AAF?
I grew up listening to AAF. You mentioned WBCN, and that station always really focused on the city. And there was always a little bit of attitude towards the burbs where I grew up in Leominster. And WAAF was this station that welcomed everybody that didn't feel like they were cool enough to be anywhere else. And that's what we've always been, is that place where it didn't matter where you came from, it didn't matter what you did. All that mattered is that you loved rock music, and we were all one big family.
You know, one of the things I like the most, it's hard to say, well, like the most in the final hours there is when you guys were playing some of the songs that had been done in studio by some of these big bands. It was just spectacular. So what are a couple of the moments that are with you forever from all your years there?
We've been asked this question, and it's so hard because I was on the air for 22 years. Yeah. But some of the things I'm most proud of, definitely at the top of the list, are my 2 trips overseas getting embedded with troops from Massachusetts. I was the first.
That's rare for non.
It's never happened.
Yeah.
I was the first non-news journalist to get embedded post 9/11. I was in Iraq in 2006, and then in Afghanistan in 2011.
Why'd you want to do that?
I wanted, well, those guys that were over there were our guys. And when the war started, you know, we started hearing everything that people were hearing. They don't have body armor. They, you know, maybe the war's not going the way we wanted. And I wanted those guys to know that not only were we thinking about them back at home, but I knew that if I saw it with my own eyes and I told the audience what was going on over there, that they would believe me because they know I wouldn't lie to them. And going over there as a woman, to be taken in by infantry units in a war zone and to become part of the unit, going on missions, seeing what they did in convoys, flying in Blackhawks. I really got to know these guys, and those are our guys that listen. So it was an honor.
Well, you say it great, too. How about an in-studio moment or two?
I think the most famous is the band Shinedown. We're basically an unknown kind of new rock band. And they were out of Jacksonville, Florida. They had come through the station a couple times, and I talked them into playing a cover song that they really didn't want to play because they didn't want to screw it up. And they did an amazing version of Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd. And the band, Brent Smith, called the show on Friday and really talked about how that broadcast changed the trajectory of the band's career.
Great. What was the final day like? I mean, it's sort of, it was like a celebration and a wake. I mean, it's sort of it was sort of this mix of odd emotion. What was it like being there? And
the only way to describe it is to say that you were alive and attending your own funeral, which seems morbid.
That is morbid.
But it allows you the chance to hear all the things that people would say after you were gone. the listeners got a chance to tell us what we meant to them. The artists got a chance to tell us how we helped them. And then the staff all got together to be able to talk about what we all meant to each other. It was magical.
Yeah, and a lot of the formers came back, too. I mean,
Yeah.
not just bands, but a lot of the former DJs. That sort of thing. You know, I was listening when, is it Tyler Connolly, who's the lead singer
Theory
for
of a Dead Man?
Theory of a Dead
Yeah.
Man. He called, and Tom Hamilton, I think, was in, sounded
He
like he was
came
in
into the
studio
studio,
from,
yeah.
from Aerosmith. And you know what was great? As a person who works in radio, the conversations were so real and so heartfelt and so unstilted. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it was like they really felt the pain, and it was so genuine and so great. It was
Mike
amazing.
Shue and I took it seriously that we were given this responsibility to finish WAAF with class and style and to finish with our head up. And we really wanted those last 2 days to be special for everyone involved. And I think we did a good job.
So you unemployed?
I am unemployed.
So what are you going to do?
I have no idea, Jim. You
How many
looking for an intern? You got any room around here for a purple-haired music expert?
So you were, when I said before, when you played Black Sabbath, by Black Sabbath is your final
Yeah.
deal, that you were sending a message, you were laughing while we were playing the video.
There was a huge
How did you
responsibility.
I know, huge. I mean, people were speculating since
Yes.
the announcement was like, what's the final song going to be?
Yeah.
So who made the decision, and how was the decision made, and why that?
Mike Shue and I and our program director, Joe Calgaro, sat down and said, we really need to put some thought into this because we knew the audience would scrutinize our choice. And so we looked at the fact that we started on the air as a rock station in 1970. Black Sabbath's debut album just celebrated its 50th anniversary on February 13th. Ozzy Osbourne released a new album on the day we went off the air, so he's the only artist that's maintained a current active status for all 50 years. And we wanted it to be rockin' and up-tempo. We weren't going to go out with Stairway to Heaven and be sappy and sad and slow. We wanted to make a statement and go out loud and proud. And the lyrical content and the overtones didn't hurt with the switch over at midnight, I'm not going to lie.
There may have been a message. Well,
There
you've
may
meant a
have
huge
been.
amount to a lot of people in this community for decades. I wish you luck and
Thank you.
congratulations
It was
on a spectacular career so far.
So far, and
So
it was
far.
an honor. To all of the AAF fans out there that are watching, we love you guys and we miss you.
Mistress Carrie in the flesh right here. It's great to see you.